Is Absolum the best feeling brawler of 2025? Then makes you grind for the moves it clearly wants you to have. That's the tension. On one hand, you've got 4 stylish fighters, a defense-first combat engine with clean clash timings, and hand-drawn art that thwacks like a drumline. On the other, a roguelite spine that occasionally says, "Come back when your numbers are higher." The payoff today is simple. I'll show where critics split, why the early hours feel off, which systems unlock the fun, and whether $25 buys you a modern classic or a mood piece with homework. Quick lay of the land. Developed by Guard Crush and Supermonks with Dotemu in the mix, Absolum launches on PC, PlayStation, and Switch at about $25 with 1-2-player co-op. The pitch is bold. Take the readable percussive flow of Streets of Rage 4 and wire it into Hades-style runs, branching routes, mid-run boons, hub upgrades, the whole loop. The setting sells it. Wizards are outlawed after a magical cataclysm, the Sun King sits atop a tower, and you're the rebel quartet punching your way up the ladder while a guardian witch yanks you out of death, so the cycle can continue. It's pulpy high fantasy in neon inks, more Dragon's Lair than Grimdark, and that clarity matters when 20 goblins pile on and you have to parse hitboxes at a glance. The combat is the reason everyone's talking. You pick from Karl the Dwarven Bruiser with a blunderbuss, Galandra the Big Sword Knight, Cider the Cyborg Thief with air control for days, or Brome the Frog Wizard who turns the screen into a telekinetic food fight. Each has a core string, throws, a couple of specials off a meter, and a super. The feel is elastic, punches and sweeps ricochet enemies into walls. Juggling buys you 2 more beats to tack on an uppercut, and the audio is pure candy, thwacks, clanks, and controller rumbles timed to guard breaks. The real sauce, though, is defense. Dodging through an attack at the right moment deflects. Pressing the strike into an enemy strike causes a clash and a brief stun. It's a bigger timing window than a 2D fighter, but landing it on a boss flips the whole fight. That interplay, attack, dodge, deflect, clash, punish, gives the brawler a brainstem. So why the split in reviews? IGN says the roguelite structure kneecaps the genre's strength. Early runs feel like you're underpowered by design, health is stingy and parts of a character's identity. Galandra's dive kick, her full 3-hit sword string, Cider's you know it when you see it air throw, are sometimes gated as temporary mid-run inspirations. You get them and combat transforms, but then you die and you're back to the kiddie pool. That's the grievance. A beat 'em up should let skill carry you, not hold back your kit until the RNG smiles. PC Gamer and Game Rant push back. They praise the branching, the reactive events, and how the runs widen over time. You pick between zones, side routes evolve, environmental toys unlock, and later cycles toss in new enemy mixes or surprise beats, so it's not the exact same jog. They both rave about the art and score. PC Gamer calls out some dud mid-run boons and wants one more island. Game Rant goes so far as to say the world keeps surprising even past 30 hours and performance is butter. Here's where the truth lives. Absolum's macro structure is fixed chapters with forks. You're not getting fully shuffled tile sets. Early on, that can read as repetition because you start the same beach and the same goblins ask for the same knuckle tags. But each choice tends to matter. Take the forest and find a furnace elevator in the mines the next visit. Board the pirate ship again and maybe a massive sea creature says hello. Snag a mount, hire a mercenary, or anger an ally because you got grabby with shiny loot. It's less infinite chaos, more curated variants and cause-effect chains. If you come in expecting FTL's roll the dice map, you'll call it thin. If you expected a straight brawler, the variation feels substantial. The progression split is the bigger philosophical beef. Absolum runs on 3 lanes. Rituals are your mid-run boons, elemental perks that add chain lightning, bubbles, and other procs. Inspirations are temporary moves or move upgrades. Trinkets are passive stat levers. Back at the hub, Radiance and Crystals buy permanent gains through a soul tree, health bumps, throwable damage, revive tokens, and the like. Used smartly, this lets the devs feed you meaningful power spikes without drowning you in XP soup. Used clumsily, it can feel like it's rationing the fun, and early hours tilt clumsy. You really do need a handful of permanent upgrades before the fight starts singing. And until you've mapped where good inspirations live, the best part is opaque. That's why IGN talks about numbers winning and PC gamer counters with dial the damage in assist. Enjoy the ride. Both are valid. Absolum includes assist options that let you tune damage received down and damage dealt up. Think of it as difficulty sliders for a genre that usually doesn't let you touch the thermostat. Where the game wins without asterisks is personality and readability. The hand-drawn look pops, flat-colored characters over richer backgrounds, bright signals on hits, and enemies that bounce off the screen edge like it's a trampoline wall. That clarity is a design choice. In the late-run chaos, you still need to pick your character out of the blender, and most of the time the outlines and VFX keep you oriented. Game Rant notes occasional visual overwhelm when the screen turns into a Renaissance painting of violence. Fair. That's where your defensive discipline and positioning save the day. No iframes on the roll means you can't mash panic. You must commit to a deflect or a clash, and that commitment is what makes KOs feel earned. Let's talk characters, because this is where your first few hours either click or crumble. Cider is the flash, air mobility, ziplines into targets, and the most I am a combo gremlin toolkit. Brome's ranged control and throwable telekinesis keep you safe while you learn enemy cadences. Carl is the on-ramp, hybrid melee and shots, straightforward crowd clears, less finesse required. Galandra is the poster child for the "this should be baseline" debate. When her full sword chain is online, she's a freight train, and when it's not, she's missing a limb. My advice: start with Carl or Brome to build confidence, slide to Cider when you want to juggle the room, and pick up Galandra once you've got enough permanent unlocks to avoid the early kit blues. And do not sleep on the clash mechanic. If you only dodge, Absolum is fine. If you clash, it becomes a conversation. So verdict time. PC Gamer plants an 83, Game Rant goes 9, IGN hits a 7. That spread isn't a mystery, it's values. If you price clean, expressive brawling, a soundtrack that makes your buttons louder, and co-op that turns the screen into a two-player jazz session, Absolum is absolutely worth your $25. If you recoil at the idea of any move you love being temporary, or you want a roguelike that remixes layouts wholesale, you'll feel the seams. My stance: the combat is special enough to carry the friction, and the mid-game bloom is real. Use the assist sliders without shame to skip the sludge, beeline routes that unlock core moves for your favorite character, and the game transforms from number stacks to one more run crack. If this kind of no BS deep dive is your thing, hitch a ride with Veteran Game and hit subscribe. We praise craft, roast bloat, and tell you where to spend your time, not just your money. Toss a like if you've ever landed a perfect clash and immediately started a combo you'll be bragging about at brunch. Leave it with this: should beat-em-ups ever gatecore moves behind mid-run upgrades? Or is that the one sacred line a roguelite shouldn't cross even if the end result slaps?